Douglas. I'm here in Florida to learn about two of the oldest and deadliest predators on the planet. Alligators and crocodiles.
Over the next hour, I'm going to get dangerously close to these prehistoric killers.
Tons of them right here in front of us.
I'll be conducting a series of experiments with these monstrous reptiles.
Whoa, look at that, look at that.
I'll analyze the feeding habits of these ferocious beasts and learn why humans sometimes appear on their menu.
Oh! Oh!
The crocodilian family includes both alligators and crocodiles, the largest and most intelligent of all reptiles. Although the two have some subtle physical differences, probably the most significant is the fact that alligators live only in China and the southeastern United States, while crocs can be found all over the world. The only place where these species overlap is here in southern Florida, which makes it the perfect location for our experiments. Joining me on my expedition is reptile expert Donald Schultz, who has come face to face with these awesome predators hundreds of times. Our mission here today is to both analyze and compare the awesome bite speed and power that crocodiles and alligators have. Their ability to close down their jaws with immense power allows them to kill and hunt even the most formidable prey. So Donald, tell me exactly how this test is going to work.
Chris, what we're going to do is use state-of-the-art camera equipment, a video camera that's able to record at about 3,000 frames a second. This is going to give us the ability to slow down the lightning-fast strike of both crocodiles and alligators. In the wild, they strike in a mere fraction of a second. This is a controlled experiment. We're going to slow down the strike of these animals and see exactly the anatomy of a bite.
Okay. Before we experiment with the big crocs and gators, we're going to get up close and personal with some of the smaller ones. So Donald, I've got an alligator, you've got a crocodile, and we're going to conduct a test with tomatoes here. Exactly what do you think is going to happen with this particular test?
We've got the same size crocodile and alligator to test exactly how much pressure each of these put down. So what we're going to do is take a tomato, put in each of their jaws, and watch what happens. If experience is anything to draw off of, crocodiles are typically more powerful than alligators, so we anticipate the crocodile is going to have more closing force.
Well, let's put them down and see what they can do.
Just tell me when you're ready. 1, 2, 3.
All right, you see? Chomped down on it, did virtually nothing to the tomato, didn't even break through the skin. And what this shows us is this animal's predating on small prey items that he doesn't need a huge amount of closing pressure.
You know, as mushy as a tomato is, I thought he would be able to bite all the way through it.
Well, let's see what the crocodile can do. Okay. So we open this crocodile's mouth, get the tomato in there. Ready? Mm-hmm. Go for it. Wow, he went straight through that, exactly what we anticipated. He has a lot more closing pressure in proportion to his size than the alligator. Also less surface area and sharper teeth. So he cut straight through that tomato.
So when you're talking about the surface area, you're talking about the shape as the V instead of the C. Gives him more pressure at the end, is that what's doing?
It's more focused, exactly. And also, as crocodiles get bigger, size for size, they are known to have a lot more closing pressure than alligators.
We've seen these small crocs and gators bite. Now we're going to analyze the bites of crocs and gators over 14 feet. I'm here with local handler Ben. He's going to demonstrate the jaw pop. It's a sharp crack that crocs and gators use to establish dominance and territory. Even though they have no vocal cords, crocs and gators have developed this popping technique as a sign of aggression.
You don't even see him.
No.
You don't even see him
And-
start to close.
Ben is a trained professional. No one should ever try that. It's extremely dangerous.
As Ben, a local handler, grazes the roof of the gator's mouth, the gator snaps his jaw shut in less than a third of a second. The sound of the jaw pop can be heard nearly a mile away, comparable to the gunshot of a 12-gauge shotgun. We've seen the incredible speed and power of the jaw pop. Now, it's time to see how those lightning-quick jaws and huge teeth work when they actually bite into something. So, Donald, I gather we're going to be using these watermelons for the test.
We're using a watermelon to represent prey. What we're going to do is get the alligator to open its mouth, throw it inside. As soon as it hits the mouth of the alligator, it's going to snap shut.
I mean, is he going to bite this down hard enough to crush it?
I think it's fairly solid, but I think the closing pressure of these animals is so immense that it's going to explode it. This is believed to be one of the biggest alligators in captivity, just under 14 feet.
All right, let's do it.
See what happened? Absolutely exploded. Melon everywhere. He's eating the melon as well, which is very interesting. But that was lightning fast.
Are they carnivores? I mean, do they eat melon?
No, strictly carnivores, but obviously we've put a prey item into his mouth. He thinks it's meat. He's going ahead and eating it.
That was really cool. So we saw the bite power and speed of an alligator. So why don't we go see what a croc can do?
Absolutely.
So what do you expect to see, Donald?
We have equally sized crocodile and alligator. We have the same type of watermelon. What we're going to do is throw this to the crocodile and analyze the whole bite at high speed. One of the things you'll notice on this crocodile is its head size absolutely enormous compared to the alligator. They've got a lot more jaw muscles and therefore generates a lot more closing pressure. I anticipate in the high speed we'll see a lot more dramatic action than we did with the alligator.
So I noticed this croc is missing a tooth right there in the front. It's one of the larger ones.
Crocs and alligators constantly regenerate teeth. They'll go through about 2,000 sets in one lifetime.
Crocodiles' mouths can be packed with up to 68 teeth. Their jaw muscles are almost twice as powerful as alligators, and their bite is so forceful that it can shatter some of their teeth when they snap their mouths shut.
So let's take this watermelon, we're going to throw it inside his jaws, analyze it on high speed and see exactly what happens.
Okay.
See that? Chomp down, the whole thing exploded, split second.
I can't believe that he can crush that like that, but the difference between the alligator and him, I mean, that pretty much demolished that one. I saw that the alligator, it kind of cracked in half. It wasn't as powerful, but that right there, that was amazing.
Equally sized animals that watermelons demolished.
So what we've learned here is that when comparing alligators and crocodiles, the bite pressure of the croc is superior. A large crocodile is capable of a bite force of over 5,000 pounds per square inch, while a full-grown gator registers around 2,000 psi. This is partly due to the shape and surface area of the crocodile's mouth, making its bite pressure more focused and powerful. However, whether it's a croc or a gator, both of these predators have the most powerful bites of any animal on Earth. Coming up next, we know crocodilians will leap out of the water to snatch prey. But just how high can they jump? Crocodilians are notorious for their stealth and their ability to snatch prey from the shoreline. But what I want to see now is just how high they can jump. Crocodiles thrive in both saltwater and in freshwater, while gators can only live in fresh. For our next experiment, I found a freshwater pond where both gators and crocs live, and I'm about to put their jumping ability head to head. Donald, what do you expect to see out of this experiment?
So what we have is a piece of chicken. We're going to see how far these crocodiles will come out of the water.
Okay, now are we actually safe being at the height that we're at right now?
Hopefully. We expect them to come out about 5-6 feet out in the water, so watch your hands. We have some frozen chicken here and some American crocodiles. So you see, I came straight out of the water, he was focusing on the chicken and basically hit it right in my hand.
Larger crocs look beyond the water to satisfy their appetites with birds and mammals, and have developed an ability to jump out of the water to attack prey. Whether it's this chicken breast or the hand holding it, makes no difference to these crocs.
Is he actually pushing with his feet, or is he actually using his tail to come up off the...
That's almost entirely tail movement. They'll use all that force to come straight out the water.
Crocodilians have the ability to literally breach up out of the deep water by using sinusoidal undulation. This is the same movement they use to swim, only to breach, the croc positions itself at a steep angle and swishes its tail side to side to lift itself out of the water. It's nearly impossible to predict when these crocs are going to lunge. That one almost got my hand.
Now, would size make a difference? Say a smaller croc may be able to come higher out of the water?
As far as height goes, a bigger croc will be able to come further out the water. But as far as body distance goes, a small croc will be able to get more body out of the water.
We've measured the vertical breach of these American crocs. Now, let's try our experiment on this large alligator and compare results.
Whoa. Whoa. As you can tell, it's not very safe up in here. That's a huge alligator, and he's not coming out nearly as far as the crocodiles, and that's what we expected to see.
Crocs have evolved as a bigger, stronger, more aggressive reptile with the ability to jump higher and catch larger prey than alligators.
So what we've learned is these crocs can actually breach half their body out of the water, which is about 5 feet.
But we only saw the gators breaching about 3 feet. It is believed that the reason that crocs have developed the ability to jump higher is that they are feeding on much larger animals, like zebra, and actively use this ability for taking prey offshore and out of the air. Whereas gators in the wild today feed mainly in the water on frogs, turtles, and fish. Coming up next, we learn just how difficult it is to move a 1,000-pound alligator and how dangerous human-gator interaction can be.
Just clamped down tighter and tighter. I felt my bones break and my skin was busting.
Over the last 50 years, the alligator population in Florida has increased dramatically. The staggering number of over 350 attacks and 17 fatalities.
Casey Edwards was out late one night with some friends when he decided to go for a swim.
Waded into the canal that night. It's basically encircled by a bunch of rocks and pretty steep ledge. And the whole time I could hear my friends yelling up on the bank. Didn't really pay attention to it. I figured they were just cheering me on or calling me back to shore. I got about halfway and I looked back at them and back on the shore, checked my distance, how far it came. And as I was bringing my right arm forward, I felt just a crushing sensation on my left arm. I turned around and the gator surfaced and looked me right in the eye. It was definitely, probably one of the worst feelings of my life. Just a really gut feeling. Just clamped down tighter and tighter. I felt my bones break and my skin was busting and I just felt extreme pain. It's just a nauseating feeling just looking at something like that and just feeling the strength that's just almost mechanical and just staring something like that in the eye. As the alligator started to shake and twist, he submerged me under the water, and he did this about 5 times before finally letting go. Gouged his eye as hard as I could, and he swirled away from me. When he did that, I knew I had to get out of there. As I tried to swim back to the bank that I was swimming to in the first place, I realized that almost all of my left arm was gone, and I basically treaded water and swam back with my right arm. And my friends met me on the other side of the bank. They had seen the entire attack take place before their eyes and just helpless on the bank. And they pulled me in, and one of them removed one of their shirts and tied a tourniquet to keep me from bleeding to death. After the attack had occurred, there were gators encroaching upon us on the bank. Some of the EMTs and paramedics had arrived, and I could hear gunshots as I was being lifted off the helicopter. FWC officers out there in the airboats counted 156 gators, and I believe 7 were killed before they found the one that had my arm inside of it. I did see some pictures that the FWC officers did show me while I was in the hospital. I did see the arm being cut out of the alligator's stomach hole, and basically you could see where it was ripped and the bone was tore, broke, and then everything else was torn and ripped from it. It was pretty much shredded just from the gator ripping it off, but the rest of the arm was fully intact with just a few teeth marks. And they could basically, it was so whole, they placed it back in the gator's mouth and matched teeth marks. And they matched perfectly.
Stories like Casey's are becoming more and more commonplace. What once was alligator and crocodile habitat, well, it's now becoming our backyards. Humans have been developing waterways, lakes, and wetlands for years. And in doing so, we have literally built right on top of the areas where crocodiles and alligators exist. Now that we coexist with these prehistoric creatures, the number of attacks on humans continues to increase. Our goal tonight is to capture and relocate a problem gator. Gators like this are known as nuisance gators, and they have to be relocated for human safety.
We brought a crew in here to get it out, but it's not going to be easy. This gator is over 10 feet long.
He's gonna come up now, Chris, there. Yeah.
He's facing me, I can't get that rope on him.
We'll try to get his head up in the air.
Okay, well, he's gonna come up now. There. Yes! Where's the big rope?
Pull that on there.
Go. Come on, pull! Death roll.
As Donald helps hoist this powerful gator to land, it quickly throws him off, beginning what's known as the death roll, a spinning maneuver used by crocodilians to subdue and dismember prey. This death roll involves a rapid and violent rotation of their entire body. The sheer force generated by the death roll is enough to rip arms and legs from both humans and other prey.
Yeah, everyone on in 3. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. It's a big gator. Get out tension for a bit. Okay, pull it straight forward. All right. Someone needs to come tape this through. I can get off.
Now you're gonna have to raise up, Donald.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have the bottom of his mouth.
Yeah, no, he's fighting me. Okay, hang on a second.
Something's coming off. Bring your leg
Okay,
back.
good. Losing it.
Don't
Quickly. Let it go. Tighter.
keep your weight on. Let's just keep on wrapping.
Almost did it. It was awesome.
It's about 11 feet. It's amazing the size of this gator. This is literally like sitting on a horse. We got his mouth taped up. We've got this towel over his eyes. Ben, tell us a little bit about that. What does this do when we put the towel over his eyes?
When you put the towel over their eyes, what it does is it basically calms them. They can't attack anything they can't see. And that's really why we're not having too much struggle with them right now.
Now that we've secured this nuisance gator, we need to transport it to its new location as soon as possible.
1, 2, 3, look. Watch out. Wait, get his weight.
Beginning a 1,000-pound gator into a van is no easy task.
All right. One more push and that's it. 1, 2, 3, go! Nice work.
The gator's new home is 100 miles from its old home, deep in a nature park where it will be far from most human contact.
Yeah, pull straight back.
So Donald, what makes a nuisance gator a potential man-eater?
There are a variety of factors. One of them is obviously size. The other is the human's fault. When humans start feeding alligators, they start equating humans with food. Right. That's when we run into issues. A gator this big could quite easily be able to take a human, especially if they're used to humans and used to humans giving them food.
You got his mouth because I'm getting ready to get this tape off.
All right.
When you cut it, yeah.
All right, we need to get the rope off of him.
The rope's off.
The towel's off.
Sitting on him right now. We're good. Leave it.
That's cool.
He's
Daddy's going. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, it's getting dark. We need to go ahead and get him back in that water.
Absolutely. Let's do this quickly. Let's do it once. Let's get home. Be careful. All right. Cool. Watch yourself.
There are over 2 million alligators and crocodiles in the state of Florida. It's obvious that there are going to be interactions between humans and crocodilians, some of those even resulting in death.
Coming up next, when a croc sees a boat in its territory, does he see it as a threat or as prey?
He could be sitting on the side of the river, either side, waiting, just prepared to pounce. Watch your legs.
The Florida Everglades. Thousands of miles of wetlands and home to some 2 million gators and crocs lurking just beneath the water's surface. But there are a lot of humans that like to make their way through these remote waterways too, sometimes with dangerous results. For this next experiment, we are simulating a human-croc encounter. By setting a perimeter around this lagoon, we can release the captive croc for the test.
Okay, perfect. What I want to know is,
When a croc sees a boat in its territory, does it see it as a threat or as prey?
Donald, what do you think we're going to see here in this lagoon today?
This is absolutely the worst case scenario, a large adult male crocodile in a small area. So my thoughts are we may see a lot of aggression towards the kayaker. One of the issues is a kayak can look like another crocodile, and aggression between males is well documented, and they'll often fight to the death.
Saltwater crocodiles, more aggressive, less aggressive than alligators?
One of the most aggressive crocodilian species in the world. There is a very well documented case of a kayaker in Australia that was bird watching, got knocked out of her kayak, and was attacked multiple times by a saltwater crocodile.
That's exactly
What we're going to simulate here.
Exact same scenario.
We're putting our mannequin, Billy, into a kayak and releasing him into the lagoon.
All right, Donald, so what's the exact plan here?
This is obviously very, very dangerous. So let me check the water over here, make sure he's not around. All right, bring him in.
Immersing my legs knee-deep in a 15-foot crocodile's lagoon is a terrifying experience. The water is so murky, we get only a few inches of visibility through it. And this croc is not only aggressive, he's lightning quick. If he attacks, one of us could be in his jaws before we even see him. Keep in mind, these animals are extremely dangerous, and you should never go into croc-infested waters.
He could be sitting on the side of the river, either side, waiting, just prepared to pounce.
Now, will he be the aggressor, or will he wait for this boat to actually go over the top of him?
It depends. He could see it as a threat and attack it outright. He could see it as a prey item and try and take the human off of it.
So at any time, he could just jump on this, huh?
That's the thing. Totally explosive, totally well camouflaged. It could come out of anywhere. Watch your legs. The time he hit it with the side of his head, he didn't grab it with his jaws. That's purely defensive. He's not interested in eating it at that point.
In a defensive attack, the crocodile positions itself so it can fend off what he thinks is a threat.
Very similar to the way a shark will see a surfer and think it's a seal. From the bottom, this looks very much like another crocodile.
So initially, he may go after the size or the sound.
Absolutely. Anything that comes into a crocodile's territory is fair game.
So should I just keep sending it straight down?
Yeah, let's try and hit it towards the bank over there. He could be laying in wait on the side of the river.
This second attack seemed like a true display of territorial aggression, where the massive croc makes a quick, conscious lunge at the kayak. But it doesn't look predatory. He's gone almost as fast as he came. Crocs can swim up to 10 miles per hour underwater, and there's no telling where he'll come up next.
So is it okay being, I mean, he's right there. I mean, is it okay being back in here again?
Yeah, I think so. As long as he stays over there, we should send this past a couple more times and see what he does.
You think he's going to hit it again?
I think so, absolutely.
All right. Here I go. I'll try not to let go of it this time.
The crocodile responds this time with more of a predatory attack as he lashes his tail and wraps around our mannequin. Crocs are known to use sharp, hard slaps of their tails to snap the spine of their prey when they hunt. A boater would have no escape if this had been an actual attack.
Chris, it's exactly as they explained. It's very, very aggressive. There could be male aggression, but there could also be predation.
I set out to observe whether a croc will see a moving boat in its territory as a threat or as prey. Ultimately, doesn't matter. We found that when a croc reacts defensively, you had better heed its warning. But if it sees you as prey, a boater has almost no chance. Coming up next, will my predator shield hold up in the middle of a nighttime feeding frenzy?
Gosh, ripping it apart.
Crocodiles are known for being masters of ambush and camouflage and are responsible for more attacks and deaths than any other predator in the world. Their favorite time to attack? Under cover of darkness. In my next experiment, we're going to analyze the nighttime feeding habits of crocodiles and see how hierarchy plays a role when a group of aggressive crocs are presented with a limited food source. We'll be using a specially designed predator shield, a transparent polycarbonate box that will allow us to observe a crocodilian feeding frenzy at close range without becoming a part of it ourselves, we hope. We've strapped a wild boar to the front of the predator shield, a common food source for these crocs here in the Everglades. The vibrations made as the boar splashes into the water can be detected by crocodilians from hundreds of yards away. In a matter of minutes, several crocs pick up the scent trail and are drawn into the predator shield, almost beating us to it.
So there are numerous crocodiles already coming in. There's one right here, right next to the predator shield.
And that one there is just huge. That's the biggest one in the water by far. They're sensing what's around them. Anything that moves fair game, they're on absolute high alert at the moment. It's nighttime, it's when they usually hunt. This is the most dangerous situation we can be in. Look at that, it's unbelievable. There's crocs everywhere. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one's got the pig right off the bat. Oh, 2 have got the pig. Oh my God. Ripping it apart. There's probably about 9 crocs right around here.
And look, the ones that are in the back are fighting to get up to the front.
4 crocs in this pig now.
Whoa, look at. Oh, wow. Whoa, look at that, look at that.
Unbelievable power.
Crocodiles play an important role as scavengers. In the wild, they consume carcasses like this pig that might otherwise contaminate watering holes.
So are they much more active during the night than day?
American crocs are usually shy and they are nocturnal, so they'll typically feed at night, but they're also opportunistic, which means that they'll feed whenever possible. They are definitely more in the elements at night. As you can see, it hasn't taken them very long to come up and grab this pig.
When he shines a light out there, you can just see eyes. You just see red glowing eyes everywhere around us.
The scary thing is you switch off the lights and they disappear.
I can see him moving in the water. Whoa.
It's movement right there. This is scary. So Chris, what you see is these huge bursts of energy, lots of action, and in these periods of inactivity, and it looks like things are going to explode again now, but they'll go through these periods of high activity and then no activity and then back again. It's cycles like that. Oh, that croc, oh, there's some fighting right over here. That big croc just grabbed the little one's tail.
Look at all of them. They're just heads everywhere.
Crocs coming out of nowhere. It's very, very scary.
As the surrounding water fills with crocodiles, the hierarchy becomes apparent. With the larger and more aggressive crocs fighting over the pig carcass, the smaller, less aggressive crocs are kept at bay and forced to watch the feeding frenzy from a distance.
So Donald, I take it we're in considerable danger if I lean out over this. That's probably not a good idea.
Absolutely, they can quite easily come out about half the length of their body. These guys are 14 feet long, so they can come about 7 feet directly up out of the water. So don't hang your hands over. He's just ripping that thing apart. There's a croc behind you, Chris, be careful. Keep an eye on him. He's obviously attracted by the commotion.
Look at that.
Croc on predator shield, right here. Chris, this is getting really dangerous.
Knowing how high the crocs can jump, I'm wishing the predator shield was a little taller.
You can see why it's so dangerous to go into the water at night with crocodilians.
Aggression and size seem to be the key factors affecting hierarchy at this feeding frenzy. There's no doubt we too would have been part of this meal if we weren't in our predator shield.
Look at that. Oh, intestines. What we saw is a complex hierarchy structure, and we were able to observe it because crocodiles are most aggressive at night, just like big cats. When nighttime comes, they become a totally different animal. So you have this complex movement of animals moving through here, with the smallest animals being very, very far away and probably not even being able to feed tonight. The biggest, most dominant animals feed, therefore increasing their survivorship. That way their genes are passed on to future generations, making the animals that go on through life the most dominant and aggressive and successful.
Coming up next, I join a high-risk expedition to collect alligator eggs from an active nest and get an up-close look at the defensive mother.
I'm here in Florida to embark on a dangerous but necessary egg collecting operation. The purpose for collecting these eggs is for research, but also we're going to be able to get up close and personal with these female alligators to see just how aggressive they can be when defending their nest.
The Florida Everglades are comprised of over 60,000 miles of subtropical wetlands and have been designated as one of only 3 of the world's wetland areas of global importance. Alligators are at the top of the food chain here, and maintaining a steady population is key to an ecological balance. Egg collection is necessary to maintain data, but the job is challenging and risky. The nests are almost impossible to find in this thick mud, so the egg collection must be a coordinated effort. The chopper crew locates gator trails in the grassy marsh, which inevitably lead back to the nest. When the chopper finds a nest, it hovers, signaling the airboats to move in to collect the eggs. It is critical for us to watch our backs, and like any good mother, the female gator will defend her nest at all costs.
Get these eggs out of here. Looks like she's moved off. Just kind of keep your eyes and your ears open.
Mothers are also known to protect their young, so we must get in and out quickly before the angry parents move back in.
We can see some in there, so now he's going to start putting these materials in here so we keep them safe and sound just like they would be in the nest.
Female alligators don't sit on their nests to warm the eggs, but rather build the nests out of plants which give off heat as they decay. The sex of gator hatchlings is determined by the temperature of the nest. Warmer temperatures produce males, while cooler temperatures usually produce females.
The little embryo is attached to the top. You see how it's got the band on it there? Yes, sir. That's where he's attached to.
Once it is laid, the embryo attaches to the top of the egg. If the egg is moved to its side, the embryo will eventually drown in its own fluid, so it's important that we mark the eggs to maintain positioning throughout transport.
They're on the low end of the food chain right now.
Right.
When they get big, they're on the top end.
But the percentages are obviously not in their favor unless groups like yours come in here and do exactly what we're doing today. In the wild, less than 1% of the nest will actually make it to adulthood. This is due to raids by other predators and unstable weather conditions. Thanks to groups like these, gators are no longer considered an endangered species.
Just main thing when we go back, we've got to make sure she hasn't slipped up between us and the boat.
Okay.
She could be anywhere.
As I carry these eggs to the boat, I realize that if she wanted to, she could lunge at me and easily take my leg off. This nest was a success. But to reach our quota of eggs, we need to visit many more nests before the sun goes down. We must move quickly and can't afford any mistakes. After the eggs are harvested, they're taken back to our field lab for inspection and distribution.
Right now I'm putting a light to these eggs to see if they're fertile and alive.
What we're doing now is called candling. If there's an embryo inside, it's visible as a thick white band. If not, the entire egg will be a solid color.
And here's one that's infertile. It doesn't have a band at all. It almost looks a lot like a light bulb would.
After a couple of days with these massive animals, I have a new respect for what powerful predators they are. I've seen the crocodilian's ability to survive millions of years of evolution is due to its near-perfect predatory attributes. A bite pressure greater than any other animal on Earth. An explosive ability to grab prey from wherever it finds it. The most voracious appetite and stealth technique when defending and attacking. With continued conservation efforts, I have no doubt these tenacious predators will outlive all of us.